Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Jenna Shivers and this is The Lovely Vet. I am here today to teach you about nail trimming. This is something that everyone does on pretty much a weekly basis, hopefully, to maintain their dog's nails. It's quite important to get your dog used to having their feet touched all the time and getting them used to the trimmers as well. This video is just going to focus on the actual act of nail trimming, and then I will do a follow-up video for more desensitization and getting dogs more used to actually having their nails trimmed. So for today, we'll get right into it. We've got our tools. So we need our nail trimmers. So I like to use the scissor style nail trimmers, which I find more easily I can see where I'm going to be cutting. You can use the proper size based on the size of your animal. So for big dogs, I suggest kind of the biggest, heaviest duty ones. For smaller dogs, you can use a smaller variety. I like to use ones without a guard on them because I feel the guard does give you kind of a false sense of security that you can just kind of cut wherever the guard tells you and you should be just fine. I'm going to show you a more specific way on how to cut the nails. A clotting agent is always good, just in case we do spring a leak or, cut the nail too short and expose the vessels. You can buy a nail powder that stops the bleeding, silver nitrate sticks, or you can, if you don't have those on hand, cornstarch does help to stop the bleeding as well. Hopefully we won't need that, but having some gauze squares or paper towel handy as well, just in case. Finally, and most importantly, treats. Don't forget the treats. Those are the most important thing to make your animal appreciate you cutting their nails and enjoy the time together. Moving on, we're going to talk about the anatomy of the nail because I think that's quite important as far as knowing where to cut the nail. Dogs that have clear nails, I mean, realistically, that's much easier to see that kind of pink part of the quick. So what the quick is it's actually like the nail bed or kind of the soft fleshy part of the nail. So the quick is something that does grow out as the nail grows, but you can, with kind of continued trimming, slow, steady, progressive trimming frequently, you can push that quick bed back so that you can get shorter nails. Even if you've, adopted a dog later in life who's not very fond of nail trims, you can work at it and get those nails back to not clicking on the ground when you hear them walking on hardwood or hard surfaces. So that's the goal, in my opinion, but realistically we just don't want the nails to be pushing the actual toes up. We want the toes to be just resting flat on the surface, and I'll kind of show you that with Mindy when we get her over here as our trusty demo dog. So I'm going to show you a picture that I've drawn, the anatomy of the toenail. It's kind of a cross section of the toenail. So these are the nails that I've drawn in cross section. The first one here has a short nail and has been trimmed regularly. And then this one here has a longer quick and it hasn't been trimmed as regularly. So the black outline here is the actual nail. The white part in the middle here is bone. This pink part around is the quick or the really sensitive part with the blood vessels and nerves. Down here is the paw pad, and then up here is just the hair on top of the toe. Exact same anatomy here, but in this case you can see the quick has grown out quite a bit longer. So if you cut this one here, you would be perfectly fine. However, if you cut this one there, you would be in trouble. So I'm going to flip the diagram upside down because I will show you how to do the trimming with their foot upside down and kind of show you my thoughts on kind of an overgrown nail versus a normal nail. So this is the way we're going to do the trimming. I will show you later in the video on how to hold, but we want to go parallel. So I would take off little tiny bits at a time, and I'm just gonna draw on the diagram here kind of where I would do my cuts. So the first little cut I would do at this angle like that, and I'd say, okay, we can keep going. Second cut, probably about there. And then third cut about there. And then I would start seeing the white line shortly after that. So I will show you that in a second diagram here in just a moment. For this toe over here, I would do, again, my first cut right at the very end and say, okay, I think we can keep going. After our second cut here, I would say, okay, we're done. And I will show you the cross-section view here in just a moment. Okay, so still with the dog's foot upside down, this is what we would be looking at if we were looking at the very end of the toe. So this is the diagram for the regular quick or nail bed. What I see when I cut it and I know I'm at the point where I need to stop is there's a little white line at the top here, and that indicates to me that I can't go any further. Whereas for the more overgrown quick, when I've done my 2 cuts here, before I even get to, so that's the kind of little white line there that I'm talking about that shows up here. Before I even get to that point, if I went there, I would definitely spring a leak. Even before that point, you'll see a little kind of white dot, which represents the end of this quick. So stopping at that little white dot is recommended. So we're gonna get Miss Mindy Moo over here to do the nail demonstration. So we're gonna go down on the floor for this, just so it's easier for her. Okay, so for the front feet, I like to hold the dog's foot up like a horse. For those of you who are horsey people, I support kind of the front of her body with my forearm here. I hold that under her chest. And by me holding down under her paw here, she can lean down onto me if she wants to. Some dogs will choose to sit down on the back end, which is totally fine. And having a wall next to your dog is good for support. They can kind of lean over to the side as well if they want to. So I'm gonna try to go as close as I can here. So Mindy's nails, I cut every couple weeks, so they're not super long. So what I do is I just go parallel with what her walking surface would be with the ground and just shave little tiny bits off at a time. Let's take a look and see. We want to pull all the hair away so we can actually see what we're doing for those nails. And that looks good to me, so I think that's far enough. So I'm just hoping you can see here her, there's like a little white line just on the bottom there, and that to me indicates that we're far enough. We'll keep going with the rest of those nails. Stabilizing each toe, holding, trimming off very small amounts, parallel with the floor, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. There we go. I know Mindy here, okay. So that's perfect there. Again, that white line. Make sure it's focused there for you. There we go. Next toe. Trimming little bits at a time, parallel to the ground, and the white line again. Next. Always should take at least 2 or 3 cuts. You don't want to just go crazy. And with the front ones, I do find they don't wear down quite as well on the pavement as the back feet do. about 5 toes on the front. So the 4 that we just did, and then this is her little dew claw here, which is kind of partway up her little wrist area here. So it's very important to trim these dew claws because they do not wear on the ground. So they can grow too long and they can just wrap right around and cause infection in the skin as well. Just taking a little bit off of there. Perfect. Good girl, Mindy. Okay, so for the back feet, what I like to do for support is to put my knee under the belly like that. So I have both hands available. And also, like a horse, I like to hold the foot out backwards so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to show you a little trick. Some people may like this, some people may not. Depends how your dog goes. This is just like a little mesh net, and this is just from like cheese that I bought from the store. But this little mesh net can be handy if your dog has a lot of hair between their toes, like doodles, any kind of poodle crosses. You can use this mesh bag to put around their foot to push the hair back so you can visualize the toes a little better. Mindy, are you quite all right there? I need a cookie. I know, you just think I'm the cookie lady now, so it's all you're really interested in. One more foot, Mindy, and then we will give you a little break. Okay, so again, thigh underneath their belly. You're going to hold their foot out. You can use the mesh bag if you so desire. I just stick her whole foot in there. And then, as you can imagine, her little toenails will stick out through the mesh bag. You still want to stabilize each toe individually, but it kind of just, the whole little toe sticks out there, which is kind of handy. So the back toes, I'm always careful. I just shave a little tiny bit off at a time because I do find that they wear more steadily on the concrete, so they don't need as much trimmed off and the quicks are a little closer. So that to me is a perfect cut. We've got that little white line and I don't think we should go any further. Next toe, stabilizing, cutting. And that is probably enough too. Little white line. Next. A little bit parallel to the ground. Perfect. The little white line. I'm happy with that. And again, there's only 4 toes on the back for most breeds, not every breed. And then that's the last one there. That one looks quite short, so I'm just going to do one little cut there. And that's a happy toe with the little white line again there. Oop. Can you see that? Right there. Perfect. I hope that's clear enough for you guys. Kind of hard to watch the camera and the feet at the same time. So Mindy's been a very, very good girl for us. I'll give her a round of applause. And she's been a wonderful demo dog as usual. I'll let you go free, Mindy. Just wanted to say thank you again so much for tuning in to the nail trimming video. If you thought this was helpful, please share with a friend. If you are interested in daily tips and tricks, please follow our Instagram page, which will pop up at the end of the video. Or check out some of our other how-to videos that will help you and your pet live longer, happier lives together. And like and follow, subscribe, so you know when the next videos are coming out. Thank you again so much, and we'll see you again soon for the next video.